Hey folks, Michael here. I wanted to talk with you a little bit about what the difference is between an appraisal and a CMA. In the last video, we talked a little bit about tax assessor fair market value versus real estate actual fair market value, what homes sell for, so please do check that video out if you haven't yet. And I want to clear up another potentially confusing vocab pitfall here. I'm a real estate broker in Oregon, and real estate brokers, realtors, what we do all the time is we run what are called CMAs on properties. CMA stands for Comparable Market Analysis, and it's a fancy way of saying that as a realtor, we've gone and seen a home, and in order to price it appropriately to determine what the market value is, we run a report of comps, comparable sales. And part of a realtor's CMA, Comparable Market Analysis, often includes homes that have, of course, sold already in the past, let's say 6 months. That's a common standard, but also some homes that we might be aware of that are similar comps that are in the process of selling, because we might know what they're selling for, even though that deal doesn't close until, let's say next Tuesday, that sort of thing. A realtor is able to do that. We've got our finger on the pulse of the market in a different way, not a better way, but in a different way than a home appraiser does, because we're already sitting at kitchen tables deciding what we're going to price homes at a week or a month from now even, with very good data to back up what they're going to sell for, and we know what we're selling homes for right now that are under contract and pending and haven't closed yet. When an appraiser comes along later on in the purchase process, an appraiser's job in large part is to verify that whatever the buyer is paying for the home, that it is fair market value. So an appraiser does a similar thing when they do an appraisal, but it is definitely not the same thing, and there's licensure differences there too. An appraiser is more of a neutral, disinterested third party. In our area, and I think nationwide, the lender, assuming you've got a loan, the lender has to rotate between different AMCs, appraisal management companies, and then that appraisal management company picks an appraiser. So they're not part of our little sphere, so to speak, that's already involved in the deal. And that appraiser comes along and runs a report called an appraisal to make sure that the price is fair. Now, they're covering the buyer's butt and they're covering the lender's butt, both, because they're making sure that whatever the buyer is paying, that it's considered fair market value and that there's data to back it up. And kind of a cynical viewpoint, but what if the buyer stops paying for the loan and they foreclose on it? They want to make sure the bank has a fair price on that home too if it goes back to the bank. The appraiser, however, is limited to homes that have already sold, to deals that have already closed. So the appraiser goes into the same multiple listing service, same public records, and they look back in time in the past, let's say 6 months for the most part, to look at what comparable sales have already occurred so that they can help validate and justify whatever the purchase price is. But an appraiser is not allowed to look forward in time. They are not allowed to use deals that are closing on Tuesday, even if that's only a few days from now, because it's technically not a valid data point. It hasn't happened yet. And they're certainly not allowed to forecast what we're already pricing homes for next month. They're only allowed to use closed comps, closed sales from the past. And in an upward trending market, that can be challenging because sometimes prices go up so quickly that looking back in time only makes it a little bit hard for an appraiser to make adjustments to say, yep, we can verify this price. But those are different things. A realtor comes along, runs a CMA on your home. We're looking back in time. We're also looking at present day deals and forecasting in the future. But the appraiser is only allowed to look back in time at homes that have already sold, data points that are already official. You don't usually pay a realtor to come to your house and run a CMA. It's just part of what we do in the pre-listing process. You do pay an appraiser to do their job and run an appraisal. So there's very different things there. Sometimes sellers are a little bit confused, or rather potential sellers are a little bit confused, and they don't realize that they don't need to call an appraiser to and pay for an appraisal to get a price on their home. That realtors do this all the time as part of our pre-listing process. So there is a difference there. It's a different type of report. There's different licensures and different requirements. So just want to make sure that you're aware of what those things are and when to use those tools. My advice in 99% of the time is to call your local realtor and have them price your home, run a CMA, and then let the buyer's appraiser actually verify that price later on once it's under contract, as opposed to spending money to get an appraisal just to put your home on the market. I hope that helps. Tune in more for great real estate content, and let us know if you have any other topics you'd like in the comments below. Thanks so much, and we're never too busy for you here in the Mid-Willamette Valley in Oregon. Bye for now.